All right, let's check the Twitter inbox. We have a lot. Sean Kramer says Pens need to come out with the same fire they showed after the Rangers' second goal was completely different after the first 25 minutes. I think that's true. And I also think not only did the Penguins have more shots on goal, they had more shots attempted at goal, 148 to 93. Chris, when you do that, it says a lot about the game because if you remember during the regular season, the Penguins did not get a lot of shots on goal at all over the 4 games in that series. They were in the mid-20s most of the time for the entire game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think there were analytics that suggested that 5-on-5, the Rangers were not some vastly superior team here, and the Penguins more proved that last night than they had at times in the regular season. If you want my one key, it's not a sexy one, nor is it a particularly original one for Game 2. Stay out of the penalty box, period. Because that team will light the Penguins up on the power play. I don't care if King Deming is in there or if Ken Dryden was in there. They are lethal on that power play.
All the more reason when King Deming, and all due respect to him, but you don't want to put him at that sort of disadvantage. And then after that, who knows? He may go to the 4th goalie, Alex Diorio, who spent most of the time with the Wheeling Nailers. That would be quite a story. Let's go to the lines. We got Ozzy in Washington. Ozzy, what's up?
I stayed up to 1:45 and watched that game, and I'll tell you what, it was great, and it was so much of a big win because if they lose that mindset going into tomorrow night's game would have to be totally stressful. But I think that goaltender, he kept his cool, and he stopped 27 or 28 shots, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does tomorrow night, and I'm going to watch it. So.
Well, Ozzy, you know, it's funny you say that because, Chris, we've been around this enough to know, and people have watched. The Penguins have lost their share of Game 1s over the years and come back to win certain games and series. In fact, back in the early 90s, it was 4 straight that they lost. All the games that they end up winning, they did not score the first goal. So, and then win Game 1. You could if they lose tomorrow night, I guarantee the same people we're talking really encouraging now are going to probably say, uh-oh, now they came back, and if they lose Game 3, things change. It's just the way it is in a best of 7. There's so many ups and downs.
Well, they really needed to win that game last night because they have the older legs, and it stands to reason that the Rangers would come back more fresh in Game 2 just physically because they have more younger players playing more minutes than the Penguins do. I will say, though, that getting home ice advantage away from the Rangers, I do think, and just putting a seed of doubt in their minds, Shesterkin's waving bye-bye at the end of the regular season, like showing, oh, wait, we are guys that have won 3 cups, our core together. You're not just going to roll over us, I think was a big deal. I also think is a big deal, Bob. I believe that may have been a subdued version of very famous early 93.7 The Fan afternoon caller, before even I was on the afternoon show. I think that was Lightning Ozzy in Washington, who would end most calls by screaming at a decibel level I won't repeat here because it's going to blow out this microphone.
You might be right. I do remember an Ozzy.
See, I can identify callers who are trying to go incognito, Bob. No. I have a great ear for it.
No, it wasn't even that. I didn't expect you to do it. I thought you'd be, too busy making notes, trying to figure out what you're going to do the next day. I didn't think you'd have time to call the show.
Who do you think I am, Andrew Filipponi, making notes? I just watch the game and it comes to me naturally. And I thought I asked you guys a great question that you could sink your teeth into.
Real quick, we have 20 seconds. What do you think Game 2? Do you think the Rangers or the Penguins win?
I think these are 2 pretty evenly matched teams, and I still think the Rangers have the obvious advantage in goal, even though Deming's a great story. So I do think the Rangers win.
Good night, Chris. We'll compare notes.
Good night, Bob.
I look forward to your call tomorrow. Good night.